Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a wonderful week wherever you are in the world. We have hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Yay! I'm so excited. This has been a totally different channel for me. I've been learning so much about how to do long form content, working it into my habits and routines of filming that already exist in my daily and weekly life. And we have made it to 1K, which is really exciting. So I thought, in replacement of the regular weekly vlog that sort of spans my weekends, if you've been here, you know that that is how I normally do my YouTube content, we would do a little Q&A get to know me sesh to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers and mark the milestone. So I did ask the girlies over on Instagram to submit questions for me. We also hit 10,000 followers on Instagram recently, which is equally as crazy. I started that specific Instagram account as just my personal account when I was like a freshman in high school. So crazy that that has gotten up to 1,000, 10,000 people. So without further ado, let me tell you where I am right now. I am in Copenhagen in a hotel on a solo trip, and it has already been everything I've needed and more. So I arrived yesterday, got in, did loads of exploring yesterday afternoon. I had an amazing lunch, and then I had a super early night so that I could get up and have an early one this morning. So at the moment it's like 8:30 and I've just made a tea, and I thought we could catch up. For anybody that is new here, hello, my name is Hannah. I'm 27. I live in London. I have lived in London for 2.5 years, but I came to the UK when I was 18 for university. So this is, September will be 9 years. Yeah, holy crap. September will mark 9 years of living in the UK. I have a boyfriend. His name is Lawrence. He is English. We've been together for about 2.5 years. We met right after I moved to London. We were set up by some mutual friends / his brother. Different story. And I work a full-time job in PR and create content in my free time. It's a very, very, very busy life. And yeah, it's been a little bit crazy this year, which I don't think I'll get into in this video. Maybe one day I will share what 2025 has looked like for me and for Lawrence and me so far, but it's been a very interesting one and definitely one of the hardest years of my life, if I'm being honest. That is me. I put YouTube videos out usually every Sunday. I try to anyway. And I operate primarily on TikTok, actually. Really pushing for 100K over on TikTok at the moment. It's been a slog, but we're working on it. And on Instagram as well, where we just hit 10K. I'm sure there's a whole lot more to me that I am completely forgetting, but hopefully some of these questions will help you get to know me a little bit better too. So let's jump into them. Oh my god, so hot. I am going to preface this by saying I get a lot of questions every single week across all of my content about work visas in the UK, jobs in the UK, how I've done it, my status, and I'm just going to put it out there right up front that I do not answer questions about that topic. I know people are really curious about it, and if you are that curious, I would just encourage you to go read up on the Home Office website. That's the best I can do for you. But there are a couple reasons for that. One is that I am not a legal expert. I only know my journey and my story and how I've gotten to where I am today, and that's not relevant for everybody that's asking. And the second is that it's a highly triggering story, very stressful journey, very stressful topic for me, and I work every single day to not let it take over my life. So I have made the conscious decision and the purposeful decision that my socials are going to be free of discussion of that topic, because it is pretty prominent in other corners of my life. So if you are curious about that and you are looking to me for guidance or information or inspiration on that side of things, I'm really sorry I can't give that to you. That's just a bit of a boundary. I hope this isn't coming across too harsh, but that is where I am with that topic, and the Home Office is a wealth of information, I promise. So let's get into some of the other questions, shall we? Favorite thing about living in London? That's such a hard question. My instinct is to say the food. The food and drink scene is amazing, and for somebody who loves a cocktail and loves to try different foods, it's unmatched, personally, I think. A lot of questions about whether or not Lawrence and I are planning to move in together. This is a crazy story, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna have to ask Lawrence if he's happy for me to talk about it, but if you follow me on TikTok, you would have seen that we were looking for a flat in January. That did have to go on pause for a lot of reasons. Circumstantially, it just ended up not being the right thing to do at the time. So currently, no, we are not looking for a place. We are great. It's not about the relationship, unfortunately, it was financial. So currently, no, we are not looking for a place to live together. I'm still living in the studio, and hopefully in the next 6 or 12 months that will come back onto the table. Can you recommend a good Italian restaurant in central London, please? Yes. Oh my God. Now I can't remember what it's called. It might be called Ciao Bella. Anyway, it's in Holborn, right on Lamb's Conduit Street. I will find the name and I'll put it on the screen. Freaking brilliant Italian restaurant right in central London. You won't regret it. What is your job? Like I said, I work full-time as a PR account manager for an agency in London, and I work on sort of primarily consumer-facing brands, and that's that. What small thing do you do every day that makes you feel put together in the rush of it all? My gut instinct answer to this question is to tell you that I don't, and I need to do something. I am terrible about making time for myself during the day, during the week. I feel like I don't have time for it, but everybody makes time for it, so at the moment, I would say my favorite little personal wellness ritual is my bone broth that I try to have every single day. I buy the packets of powdered bone broth from Freya Foods. They are incredible, but I also really love just the liquid boxes that they sell. They make it really easy. That's probably one thing that I do for myself that feels like I'm putting my health and wellness first when everything else is really rushed and crazy. Oh my God, somebody's asked, what is your ideal perfect day in London? 24 hours for someone who's been there 5 times before. Okay, depends on the weather, depends on the season, but if you have a sunny spring, summer day, I'm getting on the Clipper out to Greenwich. And if you make it out to Greenwich, you can then make it out to Blackheath on the DLR. Really sweet little town. There's really great charity shopping, a couple of cute little pubs, and the heath is beautiful when the sun sets on Blackheath. It's crazy. So I would get on the Clipper from Embankment, take the ride up the Thames, you go under Tower Bridge and you go past Canary Wharf and the views are incredible. Get off at Greenwich and you're right next to the Trafalgar Tavern, which is one of my favorite pubs ever. If you've been, you know, it's the one with all the crazy flags outside. Gets absolutely rammed in the summer, but it's worth it. The vibes are fantastic and they do an incredible pint of Guinness, if that is your drink of choice. And then I would just spend the day in Greenwich. Find a jazz bar, enjoy the markets, and then head back either on the DLR plus tube, or if you only spend a couple hours, you can get back on the Clipper and get back on the river to go back into Central. How did you make friends when you first came to the city? That's a great question. It's taken a long time. I had friends from university who have lived in London since we graduated, so it was helpful to just reconnect with those girls. The internet, to be honest, and honestly just meeting girls out and about has been really helpful. Talk to girls in pub or bar or club bathrooms. If you know, you know. How do you get over toxic men and level up? Girl, time. Unfortunately, time is the only thing that can help with this, in my opinion. I have been involved with my fair share of what I would call toxic men. Not fun. Been to therapy. That also helps. But the biggest thing is time and learning your worth. Put yourself, I know it sounds so cliche, but you have to put yourself first. You have to live in the main character thing for like a year or two, I would say. Take the time out, quit men, quit dating, date casually, but like take yourself out of the running for a relationship and get right on your standards, your priorities, and your worth. That is the only thing that's gonna send you into the next level of dating and relationships. If you could live anywhere else in Europe, where would you live? Probably Paris would be like my next stop, but not for a long time. What made Lawrence different? Love you guys together. That's so sweet. He was just kind. I knew right from the jump that he was kind and that he wasn't gonna mess me around. We have very similar outlooks on a lot of different things about life. We want the same things. I don't know, it just clicked. We had the best first date ever. Maybe I'll tell that story one day, but he was just kind and good. and genuine. What do you not love about living in London? The pace. I feel under constant pressure to be doing all the time. You have to really make a conscious effort to take time for yourself and slow down and enjoy your home or go to the countryside or something like that, but it'll burn you out pretty quickly. Hardest thing about being a content creator is, well, the hardest thing about creating content with a full-time job is finding the time and sacrificing as much sleep and social time as I do, because you just have to make the hard choices and not do things or not make plans when you really want to, because work number 2 has to get done. And at the moment I'm feeling really exhausted and really just generally tired, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Any fun travel plans? Well, I'm here in Copenhagen. I was in Milan a couple weeks ago. In June, middle of June, so not even that far away, I'm off to Marrakesh for a girls' trip to sort of reunite with a girlfriend who's been traveling for a year. That's gonna be so exciting. And then I'm off to Florida in November for a wedding. So hopefully I'll be able to find some little getaways in between June and November, but stay tuned. Camera died, so I just edited and posted a TikTok vlog, and we're gonna go back to these questions. Okay, I don't remember where we left off. Okay, yes, got it. Those are my travel plans. Budget / less expensive food recs in London. If you are into Asian cuisine, my friends and I love this place called Marugame. They've got a few locations, but I know they shut the St. Christopher's Place, or whatever that one is called, by Selfridges, so I think there's one just across from Charing Cross Station. It's called Marugame, and it's like an udon and katsu bar. I don't know how to explain it. You like go up to the bar and you like kind of get your tray with your food and you go along the line and you pick your extras and stuff. It's delicious and so well priced. So if you're looking for a less expensive option and you're into that kind of cuisine, definitely do Marugame. They're great. Where do you see your life in 5 years? Frankly, very, very different. I want to still be in London. I don't know. That's kind of it. In a bigger flat. In a bigger flat. Possibly in like a settle down kind of flat. And I would like to have a dog, I think, within the next 5 years. Not anytime soon, it just wouldn't make sense, but in the next 5 years, in 5 years from today, I'll be 32. So I can see myself with a dog at that time. I'd like to be doing a lot of traveling. Favorite places to shop? Okay, it depends on what kind of budget we're after, because I will be honest with you, I'm a Zara girl. I absolutely love Zara. I think when they hit the right season, bangs. On the higher price point side of things, I am a Ganni lover, which being in Copenhagen this weekend is just, it's just making my heart so happy. I'm gonna go to at least 1, if not 2 Ganni stores tomorrow on Sunday. That's gonna be my shopping day. Where else do I really like shopping? Oh, Uniqlo. I've been loving lately for basics. I love shopping in the Uniqlo men's section for things like large oversized shirts. They're great. I also just bought, hello? I also just recently bought some trousers from them that I wear seriously every single day. And lately M&S have been really stepping up the fashion game. If you watch me on TikTok, you know that I wear the penny loafers all of the time, probably 4 days a week these days. So that's something to like remember. M&S, they do some really good stuff. My favorite wine. Oh, my favorite, like if I'm gonna go out and buy a bottle of something, I've got 2 actually that come to mind. If I'm gonna go out and buy a bottle of something to have at home, this season I'm obviously buying Whispering Angel. Absolutely love Whispering Angel. Or there's that other Provence Rosé that comes in the ribbed bottle that's kind of straight like this. That one's really nice as well. Sparkling Night Timber. Holy moly. Night Timber and me are tight at the moment. Lawrence and I are obsessed. It's not a cheap bottle, especially if you buy it out, but I know of one pub that sells it by the glass, so I drink that relatively frequently. And anytime we're celebrating something, Lawrence and I, we've actually but we've strayed away from buying bottles of champagne to celebrate things, and now we buy Night Timber. Costs about £40 in the shop, which I think is a nice price for if you're celebrating something at home. Someone said, love your style, thank you. Have you always been into fashion, and who or what inspires your style? I have always loved shopping. I wouldn't say I've been into fashion from like an industry perspective. I've always believed in look good, feel good. I've always loved the feeling of being in an outfit that I know I feel confident in. I love to shop. I love to try out new styles. So that, yeah, in that sense, I've always been into fashion. There are a bunch of creators that really inspire me style-wise. Delaney Childs, Julia Havens. I mean, all of the UK girls, even on the food side of things, like Wynn and Maddie from Crip and Dip, their style's so fun. Kate Park, oh my god, all these girls are just so freaking cool. Recently I was in Milan. My cousin took me out for a little party. I just joined for like one of his friend's birthday parties, and we went to this bar. Everybody was so, oh my god. I would say if there's a city that inspires me style-wise the most, it's definitely Milan. Very chic, a little bit edgy, you know, fashion forward kind of vibes. And one of the girls at that party complimented me on my shoes. And that was like, that's gonna stick with me for a very long time. Did you grow up experiencing a lot of culture, or did you become that way on your own? That's a great question. Some people know this. I've talked about it on TikTok a little bit, but I actually grew up abroad for a little bit. My family lived in Hong Kong. We moved there when I was 7. So I would say that, you know, I was obviously very young. I'm not sure it necessarily, you know, changed who I am as a person, but it definitely made me comfortable with traveling. It made me comfortable with being in unfamiliar countries and cultures. It made me appreciate, you know, being able to assimilate into different cultures. And the best thing I think about having grown up abroad was the comfort that I have with not being able to understand the people around me. I find such a sense of peace in not having any idea what people are saying in another city or another country. Oh, bliss. Bliss. Lots of moving, lots of traveling. Ate, you know, lots of different foods. Learned Chinese for like 8 years as a kid. You know, I was very lucky to have been exposed to a lot of the world at a young age. Bucket list travel destination? I've been to Tokyo. I want to go back as an adult and do it properly. I would also love to go to Kyoto. I would say South Africa these days. Very, very much interested in exploring that country. The Maldives for like resort getaway. I would say those 3 are at the top of my list at the moment. On my shopping wish list, I really want 2 things from Heaven Mayhem. I really want a pair of earrings, the 2-tone ones that are like really chunky. I might just buy those myself, to be honest, in the next couple months. I also really like the Heaven Mayhem laptop cases. I'm not sure if I want one of the snakeskin ones or the leopard print is sick. Other than that, nothing in particular. I think I want to replace the couch in my flat, and there's one from Dusk that I've been eyeing up. I'm just not sure it's gonna fit. And I just bought that Prada bag, so my shopping wish list needs to be absolutely non-existent, frankly, at the moment. Favorite quote or piece of advice that you live by? I always tell myself what is meant for me will never pass me by. I believe in that wholeheartedly. On every 11/11, I tell myself everything that I desire is coming to me. There are more. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you're wanting to get into content creation, that is the one to live by. There is another one, I swear. I just try to be as delusional as possible, to be so honest. Everybody that you watch on the internet that you love is highly delusional, and that is how they've gotten everything that they've achieved. And that's the tea. Okay, last question. I'll answer this one. Favorite place you've visited in the UK, and where do you want to go next? Obviously, I love London so much, but I live there, so it doesn't really count. You know what is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in the UK or in the world is Seven Sisters. That's such an amazing walk along those cliffs. So that's beautiful. I love Brighton. I really love Brighton. And I think Manchester is probably a really fun place to be. I've only been once or twice. I would love to go explore Manchester more. Somewhere I want to visit in the UK is the Lake District. Definitely the Lake District. Super high up on my list for a domestic vacation. And I'm really keen to go back to the Scottish Highlands. I've only been one time, and it was only for like a day or a day and a half. So those are on the list. Okay, my darlings, that hopefully gives you a little bit more information about me, sense of who I am and what I do here on the internet. If you're not already following on TikTok and Instagram, please make sure that you join over there. I post literally all the freaking time, and it's exhausting and so much fun, so make sure you're making the most out of those channels too. I need to start posting everything on Shorts as well. I don't know, are we watching Shorts? Can somebody bring me into the loop on the Shorts thing? I think that's everything. Thank you to everybody that submitted questions. That was so much fun. I'll definitely do it again. And if you have any other questions for me, pop them in the comments. I'll either reply to you in the comments or maybe I'll answer a few more in the next couple of videos over the coming weeks. Sending you so much love. Happy weekend or week or wherever you are in the week when you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.